Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. It's Road Safety Month, and we want to talk road safety issues. We have with us the Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council, Paula Fletcher, and she'll be talking to us about some of the initiatives of the Council, as well as the critical issue of road safety and what you need to do to ensure your safety on the roads. We thank you so much for your company. Paula, good to have you on the...
Thank you for having me.
Sure. I think we should start by talking about the role of the National Road Safety Council. What do you do and what impact you have had over the years?
Okay, well, in terms of our role, which is listed in the Ministry Paper number 23 of 1993, we have the mandate for reducing crashes on the road that cause injury and death.
You can't be feeling very good at this time, but anyway, go on.
And of course, to reduce this pain, suffering, grief, and the cost to the nation. That's really what we have to do. But it is quite multi-sectoral, as you would imagine, because it spans so many ministries. There's health, justice, security, education, local government, and transport, of course. Transport, well, it no longer works, transport and mining. We bring all those persons around the table so we can get consensus and agree on activities that we're all going to jointly do.
So you help largely in formulating policy?
Strategies, policies, which will break out into activities. The unfortunate thing, we don't have discrete funding, only really for public education from the National Health Fund. So we have to rely on the respective ministries incorporating in their work plan the various issues that we have agreed on. And that's one of the bones of contention, because the 2004 policy actually provides for funding. Well, it stipulates that we should have a fund to pursue road safety activities, but that has not happened. So it's a collaboration we count on.
You have the Prime Minister as your chair.
Yes.
Prime Minister is always the chair of the National Road Safety Council.
No matter who is seated, and we always have great support and interest from whoever is at the helm. But wouldn't it be nice if we got a small percentage of the fuel tax? You know, then we could really plan our business, because the thing is, you know, money is spent on road safety when you have the deaths.
About the costs, but the health costs, for example, are enormous.
2 billion is what we hear in direct cost to the hospitals, and you know that's just a fraction of the cost. You're not talking yet about lost production, lost investment by family and country in an individual. The funeral costs, they're pretty high these days. Rehabilitation costs, damage to infrastructure. So we don't have a handle on that. Hopefully one day when somebody does a full socio-economic review of the cost of crashes, we'll know that. But right now it's a direct 2 billion that we have had for some time in terms of what was provided by the ministry. So I think it's actually more, but that's what we work with.
You have been with the council for a number of years. What are your own reflections, Paula, as to why we're not making the kind of progress that we should? I think 2012 was the year we were under 300.
Yes, 260.
But the last 2 years we have been we've been over 300.
We've been right.
What's the main issues?
Yes, the thing is that it's on the agenda, you know, the political agenda, but I don't think it gets the type of support that it needs to get.
What does we need to be doing?
We need to put a discrete fund in place so that whatever strategy we have come up with, which top of the list would be electronic surveillance. You know, because we need to be able to use technology to move us forward. In addition to stemming speeding and red light running with electronic surveillance, we could move to these sensors in the roads that sends information to a database that a ticket is issued straight off. It wouldn't even require police standing up to flag you down to check your papers. So the technology exists. We need the money to make the requisite investment. And my stance on it is that we get the level of road safety that we invest in. So if the investment dollar is that to get a good level of road safety is $10, and we're spending 45 cents. We're going to get 45 cents worth of road safety.
But isn't it the fact that a lot of the issues really impinge on behavior? behavioral change, which is not so much connected with funding. In fact, there's the one area where you get funding, which is education.
Can I tell you, that Jamaican who will have up to 1,500, that's the most we have heard, he will take a plane if he can get a visa, go to the US, and he might travel with a car seat for the baby, and he's going to be, or he or she is going to be well behaved and comply, because the laws there have teeth. You see, so how do we say it's fully behavior when the same person can go elsewhere and behave differently? Yes, it is behavior, which is why we stress public education, which is one of the remits we have. But enforcement, I think, is also a big part of it, of the equation.
But we see a lot of police traffic cops around. I get stopped often on the roads.
And they issue a lot of tickets. The level of unpaid tickets. You see, we're about to have an amnesty to start the 2nd of August for 2 months. There are lots of tickets out there that are unpaid. Now, the Road Traffic Act would have helped us with that had we had it even 5 years into the initiation of that process. But we're over 10 years working on this bill. And one of the provisions, one of the provisions to deal with the traffic, the ticketing, people who don't pay their tickets, is that you wouldn't be able to do business with government. If you have an unpaid ticket. It has been happening in the US for years. I first heard of it in California, where you go to buy a ticket or to leave the country, or even to leave the state, and it comes up that you have X amount owing, and you just pay it plus interest, and you go about your business. So those are the things that they...
What about revoking people's license?
Well, Ian, can you imagine the point system hasn't been working for a while? It was challenged in court, and whereas the ITA, the Island Traffic Authority, their business is to license drivers, but I think it was just an oversight that they did not have permission to actually suspend or disqualify. So that has not been happening. So there are a number of persons in the traffic environment that perhaps shouldn't be there. It's unfortunate. But that's the facts that we're working with.
Well, certainly we want to do our own admonition to you as drivers to be careful, to be as disciplined as possible, even outside of or getting the kind of technological support that we ought to get. In whatever ways we can adjust our behavior toward safety, we ought to do that. The Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council, Paula Fletcher, is talking with us. We'll be back after a short break.
Driver, slow down and stop the reckless overtaking now.
You never hear so time is money.
Easy, driver. Why nobody must man and taxi driver drive so bad?
Why him have to drive so hard? Me not gonna make you kill off me and me picnic them.
One stop driver. Make her come off this bus. Me say stop.
Me coming with you. The rest of not take chance in the life. Lord of mercy. That could have been us.
And look how we want the money.
Passengers, your safety is in your hands. Say one-stop driver and get off if the driver is speeding, overtaking recklessly, and not obeying the rules of the road. Don't give away your life. It is too precious.
Welcome back. It's Road Safety Month, and we're talking road safety issues. We have with us the Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council, Paula Fletcher. What are some of the positive things the government has done over the years to advance road safety?
Well, in 1995, the introduction of the breathalyzer program with the amendment to the Road Traffic Act. 1999, mandatory use of safety devices, and the council was behind spearheading
seat belts.
Right, those two initiatives. We're also pushing for a review of the Spirit License Act. We haven't heard much about that, but it's pretty advanced, and we're hoping that we should see something there. And the aim there is to try to prevent underage drinkers from going behind a steering wheel. So age verification will become part and parcel of how that act operates. And in fact, I'm happy to say that the drink industry, as they call themselves, were part of that discussion, and they have actually started doing age verification of their patrons, because a lot of young people are party goers, so and that's a big industry.
Yes.
And you prepay for your liquor, so
Yes.
that was our effort, because
So
I also had young people, so that was part of my effort to try and protect our young, because there was a big industry around drinking and partying.
True. And the Road Safety Act, which still hasn't been passed yet, has features which would have a positive impact on road safety.
Oh yes, the Road Traffic Act.
Road Traffic Act.
One of the big things would be a different way of training drivers and certifying drivers. We would introduce the matter of when you're getting your learner's permit, you would have to pass a road code first. Right now, you do it along the line.
Yes.
But you have to do it before you go and do the driving test. But right off the bat, you'd have to have pass that before you get the permit. Because you should know what the rules of the road are before you get before the wheel. So that is one of the new things. And then now it will build in features that are sort of more experience-based. So you move from one stage to the next. We're also going to introduce the Ministry of Transport and Works. They really have portfolio responsibility, but we are, the big pushers behind it. They are also going to have under the Island Traffic Authority a means of certifying driving instructors. Right now, if you want to get into that business and you go and, you get your license, the next day you can be training somebody to drive. We're not saying that a dad, a mom, a neighbor can't train you, but the system is going to be set up that you're going to have to at least touch base with a certified driving instructor, because it's going to be modular how the whole curriculum is set up. There are actually manuals. There's a learner-driver manual. There's a driver instructor manual, and there's an entirely new road code. The current road code is a commercial effort, but there's actually a government of Jamaica road code, which a lot of people don't know. It's a blue and cream book, very thin, of many
and which drivers
decades.
are supposed to know?
Well, I think it's overlooked, because the commercial effort actually is a much better effort, the red and white. Yes, I mean, we have to, but there's going to be a new book, and it will be the GOG, and you will be required to understand and learn what is in that. So in terms of the training, the certification, we're going to have, for instance, have it segmented. So you, for instance, you learn the impact of speed on crashes, the impact of distracted driving on crashes, the impact of fatigue. So it's going to be totally different in how it's structured. So for instance, if somebody's a habitual person who speeds and gets speeding tickets, then what could happen is that you would say to them, you need to redo that module, be retested for that module. And for instance, as we have been saying to the insurance companies to prepare their minds for the whole change, is that they could, somebody who is speeding and gets in a crash and it would affect their premium, they could say, go and redo that module, and then we would be a little more lenient. And that sort of thing. So it's going to be totally revamped, and we're just waiting.
And it would also deal with driving while being on the cell phone.
Yes, it's a bit of a compromise standard, we have to say, from the National Road Safety Council, because it seems as if it's going to be hands-free use. And that is not exactly a best practice, because using your hands is only one thing. Almost bigger part is the cognitive processing.
That's true.
Receiving the information. The brain is quite complex. You have to receive the information, you have to process it, you have to put it somewhere else and retrieve it to be able to say it. I was amazed when I learned how the brain functions. So that cognitive processing. So from the council, what we're saying is, that is one law you can break, meaning that you can do even better. Because, the political considerations, and so they say, let's go slowly, so it's hands-free. But at the council, we're saying, glove it. We're going to actually try and launch a program. Put it in your your glove compartment.
Oh, yes.
Glove it.
Glove it.
Right.
Yeah,
you
I
know,
love it.
and let's be safe. Haven't we had instances where, if we're honest with ourselves, we're on the phone and we think we're managing the traffic environment, and then we're gone through the red light.
Yes,
We don't
yes,
realize
yes.
the light has changed. It's a very dangerous thing. It's like driving drunk. That's how they have. They're looking at it. Road safety practitioners. Just that. If you stop using it, you're not drunk anymore.
Yes.
You know, which is different when you're
Yes.
drinking alcohol.
What's your final words to the audience, Paula? What words you want to leave with us in terms of what we need to do to be safe on the roads?
Yes, you know, it's fairly simple, but we lose sight of it. They say in Jamaica and around the world, 90% of fatalities and crashes on a whole are caused by human error, human choices. It's actually choices that we do. So it's
Not
a life.
accidents.
Yes, it's like a life. It's not accidents
Not
at all.
accident.
That is why in 2004, PAHO had this initiative. Road safety is no accident.
No accident.
So the council has tried to change the language in saying the prime minister, no prime minister that we've been associated with will ever say accident anymore. They say crash, or you can say collision that causes injury and death, because it's a choice that we make. So we're saying to people, make better choices, because there's an immediate change, you know, to your life.
Absolutely.
You lose mobility, you lose your ability to earn, you lose your ability to care for yourselves. When we go to schools and, you know, we may take a victim and they say, I can no longer, somebody who is 19, 20,
Yes.
I can no longer go to the bathroom without help.
Yes.
You know, you have to be fed.
That's graphic.
And some of them, I remember this particular lady, she says her daughter had a long death. Because she was bedridden for so many years.
Yes.
Of course, the impact on the society and economy, it's a sustainable development issue. It affects our ability to develop as a nation.
Absolutely.
We're trying to grow the economy by 3 to 5%. That's exactly that 2% that is wiped out by crashes, especially in developing countries. So let us take better decisions. We don't have to wait on an act, really,
That's right.
to decide our safety.
Precisely.
It's a personal choice
Absolutely.
that we make. We cannot lock up ourselves in our home. We have to go to school, work, to have social events. But we can make certain choices. You're not speeding, not drinking and driving. Get off that cell phone, glove it. And pedestrians, you have to be very careful. Motorcyclists, we haven't even touched those.
True.
Put on your helmet and go get yourself trained, because under the new act, you're going to be required to be certified to drive a motorcycle as you do a motor car.
Interesting. Lots of useful information, and information that we can use and that can literally save our lives. Paula Fletcher is the Executive Director of the National Road Safety Council. Next week I'll be back. Until then, Ian Bourne wishing you a pleasant day.